Subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon, to never miss a video from us. Hi everyone, welcome to Test Prep Training. In this video you will learn about some commonly asked questions in AWS Certified Data Analytics specialty. So let's get started. Question number 1. Amazon Athena is used by a business to do ad hoc searches on data stored in Amazon S3. To comply with internal security regulations, the organization wishes to incorporate additional restrictions to isolate query execution and history among individuals, teams, or apps operating in the same AWS account. Which solution satisfies these criteria? Your options are: A. Create an S3 bucket for each given use case. Create an S3 bucket policy that grants permissions to appropriate individual IAM users, and apply the S3 bucket policy to the S3 bucket. B. Create an Athena workgroup for each given use case, apply tags to the workgroup, and create an IAM policy using the tags to apply appropriate permissions to the workgroup. C. Create an IAM role for each given use case, assign appropriate permissions to the role for the given use case, and add the role to associate the role with Athena. D. Create an AWS Glue Data Catalog resource policy for each given use case that grants permissions to appropriate individual IAM users, and apply the resource policy to the specific tables used by Athena. The correct answer is option C. Question number 2. A real estate business uses Apache Base on Amazon EMR to power a mission-critical application. A single master node is set up for Amazon EMR. The company's data is kept on a Hadoop distributed file system in excess of 5 terabytes. The organization is looking for a cost-effective way to increase the availability of its base data. Which architectural design best fulfills the needs of the business? Your options are: A. Use spot instances for core and task nodes and a reserved instance for the EMR master node. Configure the EMR cluster with multiple master nodes. Schedule automated snapshots using Amazon Event Bridge. B. Store the data on an EMR file system instead of HDFS. Enable mrefs consistent view. Create an EMR base cluster with multiple master nodes. Point the base root directory to an Amazon S3 bucket. C. Store the data on an EMR file system instead of HDFS, and enable mrefs consistent view. Run 2 separate EMR clusters in 2 different availability zones. Point both clusters to the same base root directory in the same Amazon S3 bucket. D. Store the data on an EMR file system, instead of HDFS, and enable mrefs consistent view. Create a primary EMR base cluster, with multiple master nodes. Create a secondary EMR base read replica cluster in a separate availability zone. Point both clusters to the same base root directory in the same Amazon S3 bucket. The correct answer is option C. Question number 3. An Internet of Things business is developing a new gadget that will gather data on sleep patterns while sleeping on an intelligent mattress. Sensors will transmit data to an Amazon S3 bucket. Each night, around 2 megabytes of data is created for each bed. Each user's data must be analyzed and summarized, and the findings must be made accessible as quickly as feasible. Time windowing and other operations are included as part of the procedure. Each run, based on testing using a Python script, will need around 1 gigabyte of RAM and will take a few minutes to finish. Which option is the most cost-effective approach to execute the script? Your options are: A. AWS Lambda with a Python script. B. AWS Glue with a Scala job. C. Amazon EMR with an Apache Spark script. D. AWS Glue with a PySpark job. The correct answer is option A. Question number 4. A corporation gets a 100 megabytes .csv file compressed using zip once a month. The file is hosted in Amazon S3 Glacier and comprises 50,000 property listing records. The company's data analyst is required to query a portion of the company's data for a certain vendor. Which approach is the most cost-effective? Your options are: A. Load the data into Amazon S3 and query it with Amazon S3 Select. B. Query the data from Amazon S3 Glacier directly with Amazon Glacier Select. C. Load the data to Amazon S3 and query it with Amazon Athena. D. Load the data to Amazon S3 and query it with Amazon Redshift Spectrum. The correct answer is option C. Question number 5. A human resources organization runs analytics queries on the company's data using a 10-node Amazon Redshift cluster. The Amazon Redshift cluster comprises two tables, one for products and one for transactions, both of which have a product SKU field. The tables span more than 100 gigabytes. Both tables are used in the majority of queries. Which distribution pattern should the organization adopt to optimize query speed for the two tables? Your options are A. An even distribution style for both tables. B. A key distribution style for both tables. C. An all distribution style for the product table, and an even distribution style for the transactions table. D. An even distribution style for the product table, and an key distribution style for the transactions table. The correct answer is option B. Question number 6. Utilizing Amazon Kinesis data streams, an online store is redesigning its inventory management and inventory reordering systems to automate product reordering. Kinesis Producer Library is used to publish data to a stream by the inventory management system. Kinesis Client Library is used to ingest data from the stream by the inventory reordering mechanism. The stream is set to scale up or down as necessary. The merchant realizes that the inventory reordering system is getting duplicate data just before production deployment. What causes may be responsible for the duplicated data? Make a selection of at least two. Your options are A. The producer has a network-related timeout. B. The following value for the iterator age milliseconds metric is too high. C. There was a change in the number of shards, record processors, or both. D. The aggregation-enabled configuration property was set to true. E. The following configuration property was set to a number that is too high. The correct answers are option B and D. Question number 7. Amazon S3 is being used by a marketing organization to store campaign response data. Each campaign's data was compiled from a consistent set of sources. The data is uploaded to Amazon S3 in the form of .csv files. A business analyst will examine the data from each campaign using Amazon Athena. The organization requires a reduction in the cost of continuing data analysis using Athena. Which steps should a data analytics professional perform in combination to achieve these requirements? Select 2. Your options are A. Convert the CSV files to Apache Parquet. B. Convert the CSV files to Apache Avro. C. Partition the data by campaign. D. Partition the data by source. E. Compress the CSV files. The correct answers are option B and C. Question number 8. A business has an application that reads records from a Kinesis data stream using the Amazon Kinesis Client Library. The application saw a considerable rise in use after a successful marketing effort. As a consequence, a data analyst was forced to separate certain data shards. When the shards were divided, the program began intermittently issuing expired iterator exceptions. What is the data analyst's role in resolving this? Your options are A. Increase the number of threads that process the stream records. B. Increase the provisioned read capacity units assigned to the following Amazon DynamoDB table. C. Increase the provisioned write capacity units assigned to the following Amazon DynamoDB table. D. Decrease the provisioned write capacity units assigned to the following Amazon DynamoDB table. The correct answer is option C. Question number 9. A retail organization is using Amazon Redshift to construct its data warehouse solution. The organization is now adding hundreds of files into the fact table established in its Amazon Redshift cluster as part of its endeavor. When loading data into the firm's fact table, the company needs the solution to achieve the best possible throughput and to make optimum use of cluster resources. How should the business go about meeting these requirements? Your options are A. Use multiple copy commands to load the data into the Amazon Redshift cluster. B. Use DAS-C to load multiple files into the Hadoop distributed file system, and use an HDFS connector to ingest the data into the Amazon Redshift cluster. C. Use load commands equal to the number of Amazon Redshift cluster nodes, and load the data in parallel into each node. D. Use a single copy command to load the data into the Amazon Redshift cluster. The correct answer is option B. Question number 10. Every 10 seconds, A streaming application reads data from Amazon Kinesis data streams, and promptly writes it to an Amazon S3 bucket. Data is being read from hundreds of shards by the application. Due to a different need, the batch interval cannot be modified. Amazon Athena has access to the data. As time passes, users notice a deterioration in query performance. Which step may aid in query performance optimization? Your options are: A. Merge the files in Amazon S3 to form larger files. B. Increase the number of shards in Kinesis data streams. C. Add more memory CPU capacity to the streaming application. D. Write the files to multiple S3 buckets. The correct answer is option C. For more such videos, subscribe to our channel.